Hey Shelby, guess what?
What, Nathan?
Hockey's back.
So?
Well, it's a pretty awesome sport. I mean, I wish Wartburg had it.
You might be the only student on campus who thinks that, but good news, all the other winter sports were in action, so let's start the show.
I mean, every win's big. You know, the Iowa Conference is a good conference, wrestling nationally. You know, we take every single duel that we have in the Iowa Conference series, and they're all big.
The wrestling team was in action against conference opponents 2 times last week. Could they keep their IAC win streak alive?
Plus, both basketball teams face key opponents. How did they do? We have the highlights.
And we'll step off the Wartburg campus to check out some other hoops action as the Go Hawks were at home for a conference game. This is Sports Night.
There was a lot of people out there hating on us and didn't think we could do it without Sadoff on our squad anymore. And we took it to us every day in practice. If you saw our squad, you knew that we were ready to play.
Hello and welcome to another action-packed Sports Night.
Right you are, Nathan, and first we'll start off with the men's basketball team who continues to surprise the conference. The men got back into action Wednesday night looking to stay undefeated in conference play. Sports Night's Justin Zacconi was at the game, so let's roll those highlights. The Orange and Black stormed out of the gate with a 9-1 run capped off by this Eddie Deemer layup. Wartburg would keep it going later on in the first half with this nice backdoor pass from Jake Reinhardt to Dan Van Grogen to extend the lead to 12. But Wartburg couldn't get the kill in the first half as Coe chipped away and got a jumper to go as time expired in the first half to cut the lead to 7. Coe got themselves back into the game though with a 10-3 run over the next few minutes, thanks in part to this nifty layup by junior Andrew Worth. Clay Cook would get the chance to tie the game up at 51 with an and 1 off the great baseline pass, but couldn't execute as Wartburg would remain down by 1. The Knights would reclaim the lead a little later, but Coe's Max Schmarzo hits the off-balance shot to give the Cohawks a 1-point lead. Brett Algren's three-point shooting was essential in this one, keeping the Knights alive as he hits a tray to tie the game at 65. The Cohawks kept coming as they slice up the Orange and Black's full-court defense, and they get an and 1 to extend the lead to 3. On the ensuing possession, Algren comes through on the clutch to even things up at 72, but Coe throws away the inbounds pass, giving the Knights a chance to take the lead with 50 seconds left. They didn't waste the opportunity as Murphy gets some penetration and kicks it out to Algren for his 4th and biggest triple of the game. After a quick layup by Coe and a few Wartburg free throws, Coe's Dave Mataloni tries to take the game to overtime, but clinks iron as the Knights come out of this thriller a winner, 78-74.
Everyone's stepping up. It's a complete team effort. We don't have many people with zeros. We have lots of people in the 5, 7. I mean, a couple people hit leading scores. I mean, it's really a team effort in the locker room even. Everyone's together. Everyone's one team this year.
Mitchell Murphy led the Knights with 16 points, Deemer chipped in 15, and Algren finished with 14. To hear more interviews from after the game, check out our Facebook page. The men were then again in action Saturday against Buena Vista in Storm Lake. We'll have those results later on in the show.
Women's basketball team returned home Wednesday and faced preseason league favorite Coe in a crucial contest at Levick Arena. I was there to capture the highlights. The Cohawks led by 2 at the break. Keep things rolling here on the fast break as Caitlin Cray finishes for 2. The Knights respond and take the lead as Bailey O'Brien puts them up by 3 with a nice shot in the lane. The Cohawks would cut it to 1 late, so the Knights rely on the senior O'Brien. Again, she comes up with another big basket, extending the lead to 3. Megan Hayes brings Coe within 1 with 37 seconds left, and the Knights put the ball in the hands of a senior again. Abby Weideman gets fouled with 5 on the shot clock, nails both free throws for a 3-point lead with just 11 seconds to play. Coe gets 1 final possession, but Hannah Breitbach misses the 3, and the Knights' relentless defense doesn't allow another shot in a 58-55 win.
I just went up there and pretended they were any other free throw.
Abby's one of your senior leaders. That's probably exactly who you want on the line at that point.
Absolutely. She's clutch. She doesn't worry about it. She knows she's good, and that's why she's good.
Weideman and Carly Jacobs led the Knights with 11 points apiece. Wartburg improved to 3-1 in the conference before Saturday's matchup with Buena Vista. Stay tuned for results of that one later in the show.
The wrestling team was in action this past week as they faced the Luther Norse in Levick Arena on Thursday. Let's see how they did. The Knights remain number 1 for the 6th straight week, and they started this one off like they usually do. At 125 pounds, Gilberto Camacho started things off with a huge takedown. He ended up winning the match by a score of 8-2. Next was 133, where Kenny Anderson got the easy takedown right away and showed his dominance in a 16-3 win. There's that takedown. Cody Silvestri then at 141 pounds dominated as much as Anderson, and he won the match by a major decision of 21-8. The big highlight of the night was for Tommy Maroka at 141. Maroka was able to counter this takedown and win this with a score of 7-2. This win gave him 100 career wins. The first pin of the night came in at 184 pounds. The Knight's Sam Yupa uses his strength to pin his man. It was his 4th pin of the year. The lone highlight for the Norse was at 197 as Trent Flagel was able to pin Phil Hawes. The Knights ended up winning 34-6. We talked to Coach.
Yeah, for the most part, I thought guys wrestled well. I thought we looked a little sluggish in a few of those matches. Didn't finish the matches. We got to be able to do that. We got to be able to finish matches, wrestle the whole entire time.
Coming up on Sports Night, Seth Nutting sees if he can compete with the Wartburg track and field team or if he should stick to the basketball court.
It really hasn't hit me. It's just, you play it match by match, day by day, and I probably won't even get to the feeling until after nationals when it is said and done.
Plus, our senior spotlight is shining on the wrestling mats. More Sports Night in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Sports Night. The wrestling team was in action again on Friday night.
Shelby followed the team to Cedar Rapids as they battled 12th-ranked Co. Let's see how they did. Number 3, Gilberto Camacho started the Knights off in the right direction by getting an 8-1 decision. Then number 1, Kenny Anderson dominated at 133 pounds by winning a 10-2 major decision. At 141 pounds, Tommy Maroka recorded a 6-1 decision, and following him at 149 pounds was number 2, Cody Silvestri. Silvestri won with a major decision and final score of 19-6. Number 3, Cole Welter added another victory for the Knights at 157 pounds with a 5-4 decision, and number 1, Landon Williams, recorded a 4-0 decision. Number 4, Dylan Azinger, number 5, Sam Upaw, and number 6, Puna Soriano also added decisions for the Orange and Black. The only glimpse of hope Co had was at heavyweight as number 4, Alex Burkle, defeated Wartburg's number 6, Ryan Fank. In the end, Wartburg would come out with their 161st consecutive conference dual win, 29-3. Let's hear what Coach had to say.
I feel good about it. Guys went out and fought their butts off. This week was a grind. We knew it was going to be a grind, and these guys stepped up and wrestled to the occasion.
I just feel like this is just the next step as a team. Just working our way towards nationals right now, and every day is going to be a fight for us.
The wrestling team is currently in action at Loris, but you can catch them at home this Thursday for a duel against Cornell at 7 p.m.
There's one senior on the wrestling team who has been improving year by year. This week I decided to shine our senior spotlight on the grappler at 141 pounds, Tommy Maroka.
I think he has a certain element of leadership. He's a senior. He's a guy that comes in every day and he works his butt off every day. That's a given. He's going to come in and work hard.
Coach Keller is talking about the senior wrestler at 141 pounds, Tommy Maroka. Maroka has been a contender for the Knights since his sophomore year when he placed 4th at nationals.
Just seeing him respond to that adversity and wrestle throughout that national tournament it showed me what he was capable of, what he was really, could do.
In his 4 seasons, Maroka has placed at the NCAA tournament, been an IAC champion and runner-up, and this year he has won his weight class at the Simpson Invite and the Dick Walker Invite.
It's just a tough grind, and it's a long year to go through, but you love it. That's why you stick with it.
To be a wrestler, especially at Wartburg, you have to love the sport day in and day out, and that is something Tommy has learned along the way.
It's one of those things, you love it and you hate it, but you gotta stick with it if you want to be one of the best.
The guy's motivated, the guy loves wrestling, and the guy wants to get better. He wants to be good. He's willing to put in the work. He's willing to do whatever you tell him to do.
Recently, Maroka's hard work paid off. Last Thursday against the rival Luther, Maroka was up against Kyle Winquist. Moroka was up 7-2 when a kick to his head left him injured. He battled back, however, and came out with a 7-2 decision. That was Moroka's 100th career win.
I try not to think about it. Just one of those things. It's nice to have, but you know, it doesn't change the way you wrestle. You just got to go out there and win regardless of if it's your first win or your 100th win.
Moroka's personal goals and team goals are no secret. It's what every wrestler at Wartburg comes to do.
I just describe myself like any other wrestler on the team. I'm just out to get, you know, a national title for myself and help the team along the way.
He hasn't quite gotten what he wants yet, you know, and then, you know, as a coach, that hurts. You want everybody in your team to get what they came for and to get that ultimate.
Even though Moroka has a love-hate relationship with the sport, wrestling is still something he lives for.
It's always on your mind. I mean, you're always thinking about wrestling and you're thinking about your upcoming matches and you just play it in your head. Your heart gets racing when you're just sitting there in the middle of class and you start thinking about it and just playing out the matches and what you got to do.
The women's basketball team traveled to Storm Lake for an Iowa Conference battle Saturday, and they came away with a 74-59 victory. The Knights are now second in the conference with a 4-1 conference record and 11-5 overall record after the win. Carly Jacobs was the leading scorer for the Knights with 18 points in the game. Holly Halstead pitched in a career-high 12. The Knights continued conference play last night at Loris in a game that had the conference's second-place spot on the line. Check out wartburgcircuit.org for a recap.
Mitchell Murphy set the Wartburg career assist record Saturday as he recorded his 302nd assist in an 88-77 Knights victory over Buena Vista. The victory sends Wartburg to a 10-5 overall record and 5-0 conference record. Murphy also had a career-high 25 points. Let's hear what he had to say about his accomplishment.
It's nice to just have good teammates to kick the ball to, and you know, over the years I've been really blessed to have really good teammates who they can, you know, like Sadoff can lead the conference in scoring or whatever, and I can just focus on getting in the ball at the right spot at the right time, and it's just as rewarding for me to see them score.
Both the women's and men's basketball teams will be in action tomorrow night as rival Luther comes to town. Wartburg fans are encouraged to wear black for the game.
Coming up next on Sports Night, we sit down with track star Kristen Canning to talk about the indoor season.
And later in the show, we'll head to Waverly Shell Rock to see how the wrestling team did this past week. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Sports Night. The track team traveled to Ames over the weekend for the men and women's second indoor meet of the season, facing mostly Division I and II competition at the Iowa State Open.
Kendra Kragel had the best individual finish for either squad, placing second in the 800-meter run in 2 minutes 17.5 seconds. Jonas Alusme took third in the long jump for the men's top finisher, jumping 7.05 meters. Monique Davison was third in the triple jump with a jump of 11.43 meters.
The women's 4x4 team also placed third. Kayla Heeman placed in the top 7 in 2 events, including taking 4th in the shot put and 7th in the weight throw. The Knights return home this weekend for the Wartburg Lutheran Triangular. Joining us tonight in the studio is junior runner Kristen Canning. Thanks for joining us tonight, Kristen.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, it's still early in the season, but how do you feel about your individual performance so far?
I feel good. There's always room for improvement, but it is early in the season, and so hopefully that will come with more training and getting in better shape as things go on. Right now I do feel good, though, because just at the last meet at Iowa State, I ran the same event that I did last year, and I improved by about 4 seconds. So wow. That felt really good, and the race felt good, too. So that was good to have happen.
Okay, team ranked #1 in the nation. What expectations were there going into this season?
Our expectations are to do just as good as we've done in the past and to take 2 national titles in indoor and outdoor. And we're also hoping to improve in the guys' team as well at nationals.
You lost some big pieces off that national championship team last year. Who are some of the key individuals on the team this year?
I think all around we have a lot of really strong people. We hear that a lot, you know, you graduated so many great seniors, and we did, but I think because those people were such stars, people don't realize how much depth we even still had last year, and we have a lot of good incoming freshmen this year, and so I think our team is going to be just as successful. We don't have any huge standout stars, but we have really good consistency across the way, and that's still how you build awesome relays in D3. So I think my junior class is going to be really strong this year. We have a couple freshmen, Laura Stenzel, Caitlin Mullenbrucker really coming on strong, and obviously Kendra is our senior leader, and Britlin in the throws, and Monique in the jumps. So we still have a ton of people across the board.
Okay, like we mentioned over the weekend, you saw a lot of D1 and D2 competition. Talk about how helpful that experience is.
It's awesome. We look at our Iowa State meets as a really big opportunity to push us, because in D3 we do get pushed by people, but not usually till later in the season when we have more competition coming in. And so it's just, and it's also really kind of a confidence booster. I mean, a lot of people talk down about D3 athletics and that we're not really competitive at all with what D1 does. And obviously we go to these meets and we beat tons of D1 and D2 teams, and we stay right in there with even the best of them. Like in our 4x4 we got third, and I think Iowa State and Iowa Central were the only teams that beat us, and we were right behind them. So it's really encouraging and it's good for us.
Okay, Kristen, unfortunately that's all the time we have, but thank you so much for joining us and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Still to come on Sports Night, we'll bring you all the highlights from the Waverly Shell Rock boys basketball game.
It doesn't matter who we play. We have to win every game to win the league.
Welcome back to Sports Night. The Waverly Shell Rock wrestling team faced off against conference rival Charles City last Thursday at WSR. The Go Hawks didn't get the start they were looking for, losing the first match at 113 pounds, but they rebounded and used a mid-second period pin from Bryce Stryer to take a 15-3 lead. After dropping a couple decisions, the Go Hawks were left clinging to a 15-10 lead, but WSR went on to win the next 5 decisions on their way to an easy 40-22 victory.
Saturday was also a very successful day for the WSR wrestlers. The Go Hawks began their day taking on Waukee, beating them 65-12. They then moved on to take down Waterloo West 63-16. Next up was Mason City, whom they beat 47-19. They annihilated Fort Dodge 66-15, followed by Des Moines East beating them as well by a final score of 63-18. The WSR wrestlers went 5-0 on the day. Let's hear what assistant coach Mark Kist had to say about the team this year.
The Waverly Shell Rock teams are always in shape, good shape. If you watch our matches or dual meets, even with Charles City last night, who's a pretty good team, the other schools seem to get tired faster than we do. So that's always, we've kind of prided ourselves on that.
The Waverly Shell Rock boys basketball team has been on a roll lately, winning their last 5 games. On Friday, their biggest test of the season came in the form of 7th-ranked and undefeated Crestwood. Sports Night's Justin Ciccone was there to catch the action. Let's roll those moving pictures. The Go Hawks were active on defense early as they strip Crestwood, and Alex Moorer picks it up for the layup. Crestwood tried to stay in it with the shooter's bounce on this tray from Will Thompson as the Cadets cut the lead to 1. WSR dominated on the boards in the first half, thanks mainly to the length of Clint Carlson, who eventually will tip it in here on this possession. The Go Hawks would go into halftime with a 6-point lead. The scoring would not stop in the third quarter when Carlson out-muscles his defender. Here for the rebound, lays in the bucket. Go Hawks are up by 7. The Go Hawks clamped even tighter on D in the third quarter, allowing only 7 points during the period. Active hands for WSR created a lot of easy fast breaks. In the end, Crestwood couldn't get into a rhythm on offense, fall to the Go Hawks 61-44. Let's toss it to Coach.
We've been waiting for this opportunity all year, and we didn't get a great start to this season and the start we wanted to get. And so we've been looking forward to this game, and our guys were ready, we were focused. I thought we came out and played extremely hard, and that was the difference in the game.
The Go Hawks have won 6 in a row now as they are only 1 game out of first place after defeating Crestwood. Still to come on Sports Night, check out our They Can We segment. Welcome back to Sports Night. This week we take to Hoover Fieldhouse for They Can We, where Sports Night's Seth Nutting takes an in-depth look at one of track's most popular field events.
I'm here with Andy Bellamy, sophomore here at Wartburg College, who's a member of the Wartburg track and field team, and he's going to teach me how to shot put. First off, what are some key things you do to get physically and mentally prepared for the shot put?
Usually we run a few laps, do some sit-down stretches, some moving stretches, and then we'll go up and down these lines on the courts, doing our wheels, and then we'll go against the wall, and we'll do some coming out of our back position. and then we'll get in the ring and we'll do some front throws, some power throws, some wheels, some South African throws, and then we'll finally do some of our full throws before we're ready to go.
With that, it was time to begin our warm-up.
So the wheel is the next part after, it's basically the middle after you come out of the back and before you get into center or into your power position. It basically just changes directions. Instead of facing that way, we're facing the back now and we're in our power position.
Is that good?
Yeah, not bad. Just
Then it was on to our next warm-up, the power throw.
The power throw is the final stage before you actually let the shot go. That's probably the most important. And you start off, if you're right-handed like me, having your left toe to your right instep. You're gonna put all your weight on your right leg, bent right leg, straight left leg. You're gonna rotate your right foot. You're gonna push your hips forward, and you're gonna finish like this.
Oh, that was terrible. Now it's time to put our warm-ups to use as we actually do the shot put and see who the strongest man really is. Being the gentleman that I am, I let the lady go first. Unfortunately, he didn't throw like the lady, but I did. Oh my God. On our third throw, I had one last chance to prove myself. No, I keep scratching. So obviously, this is my first time and it didn't go so well for me. Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Seth Nutting.
This week, our athlete of the week is junior wrestler at 133 pounds, Kenny Anderson. Last week, the #1 ranked Anderson came up with 2 major decisions against Luther & Co. Anderson's season winning streak now sits at 15, and he has a 34-match winning streak that dates back to last season. His last loss occurred at the 2012 national duels against Nathan Fitzenrider of North Central, but don't worry, Kenny got revenge by beating him for the NCAA National Championship. Well, that's all the time we have for this show.
Join us again next week for a brand new Sports Night. Have a good night.